Racecourse International Stadium here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon from the heart of Colombo as we continue our coverage of the Champions League tournament by Sri Lanka football. It's match 3, week 3, match 11 rather, here, and we're going to see Pelicans SC taking on Solid SC from Anuradhapura. Of course, these coverages, these games come to you on the back of a brief interlude to the Champions League tournament in light of the adverse weather conditions that we've experienced across Sri Lanka. In that respect, here's what the game is going to look like in terms of the forecast. We've got hazy sunshine with a bit of cloud overhang here at the Racecourse International Stadium. It's a warm day with a bit of humidity to boot as well, and 16 kilometers per hour wind speed expected. So conditions are interesting. At least the sun is not going to be shining directly on the players. So if you want to watch today's broadcast, don't forget you can tune in to us on the Sri Lanka Football Facebook and YouTube pages, only in Sri Lanka on Supreme TV for terrestrial TV locally, and of course the Papare worldwide. And in light of the recent results following the return of the Champions League 2025, after that brief interlude, Sri Lanka Police beat Matra SC 5-0. Sri Lanka Transport Board continued their series of heavy losses, losing 8-0 to New Star, and yesterday Supersan SC beat Moragasmulla 2-0. Serendip SC grabbing a 1-0 win versus Java Lane as well. And the two teams now walking out under the FIFA banner as we wait to kick things off. The game today to be refereed by Lakmal Virakodi, ably assisted by Buddhika Dias, Malika Madhushani, and fourth official Asanka Silva. Rajendran M will be our match commissioner. So an interesting game. Coach Aruna Sampath for Pelicans and Sabanand Sivanesan for Solid SC will have their work cut out for them as we see the final exchanging of pleasantries before the start of the game. We're just lining up now for the team photographs. That's the Solid SC team, of course, led by Nyana Ruben in that number 12 shirt. And there you have the Pelicans SC lads. Pelicans SC, of course, one of the older clubs in Sri Lankan football, founded in 1948 and calling Kurunagal home. The club has a long history in National League and brings a tradition of resilience and local pride, while Solid SC, of course, from Anuradhapura, founded in 1983, famously secured the National Premier League title in a breakthrough achievement in 2014-15 as well. Once again, just having a look at your referees. Lakmal Virakodi to blow the whistle, Buddhika Dias and Malika Madhushani to assist him, and Asanka Silva as fourth official. And here is a look at your lineup for Pelicans. Skipper and goalkeeper Rangana Jayasekara will be manning the posts. He will be ably assisted in that defense by Mohammad Yasir, Mohammad Irfan, Vigneshwar Raja Kajandan, and Kumar Kevinash and Mensa Stephen. Up front, it's going to be Daniel Musatkin and Ernest Adu, assisted in the midfield by Kojo Anoke, Yasaswin Tiriman and Sadurian. And for Solid SC, it's going to be that man Yana Ruben who is going to be leading them, and he's going to be supported up front by Adeolu, Chibueze and Kennedy Johnraj in a very attacking lineup. In the post, Devadas Nilujan, of course, and also in the defense, it's going to be Daniel Arubison, Halik Ahmed and Vidusan, so supported by Sadursan as well. So a back four and a very forward heavy attack as well. So as a result, Darabra Danusian is going to have a lot of work on his hands, but it remains to be seen how this game will play out on the pitch. Pelicans SC's Ernest Adu to take this kickoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's kickoff. And Pelicans SC playing from the left to the right of your screens, while Solid SC in their white strip will be playing from right to left. Joining me, of course, and ever present in Sri Lanka's local football scene, and part of the furniture as I like to call him, Navod Vijayvikrama. Navod, Solid SC with the first good game as well, and Pelicans maybe coming into this with something to prove.
Yes, indeed, and after a break, after we had the initial first week, couple of weeks, we did not have the Champions League due to the natural disaster we faced. But again, good to see football back in action. Solid now comes on the attack. Ball into the box, partially cleared away. They still have position Pelicans now. Few changes for both sides, including the most notably Pelicans having jersey number 71 Daniel Mustakin in their starting lineup. Solid in their all white.
So important to really control the narrative in the middle of the park in these games, particularly in the initial stages, as both teams try to settle and really impose themselves on the game. And it looks like so far Pelicans have had more of the success in doing just that. A bit of a hopeful pass on that occasion by Kojo Anoke. And based on these very early exchanges, what does seem apparent is that they are looking to catch Solid SC on the break. Solid SC playing with a very forward heavy lineup, even at least on paper. And the memo to Pelicans at least seems to have been get the ball from back to front as soon as possible. We've seen especially those defense splitting passes in the first few minutes as well. Tried as coach Aruna Sampath, of course. Making that transition as well from schools football to a much larger presence now in the club scene, and a little change in his look as well. When he was coaching St. Joseph's, he didn't have these locks.
Yes, indeed. He has had quite a bit of success. Even in the Division 1, he led the Great Star to the final against Mavanala United, though they were defeated quite convincingly. Pelicans drew their first game against Moragas Mulla, won all the very first game of this Champions League, while Solid also drew 0-0 against St. Mary's. So both teams without a win, just a draw piece coming into week 2. Here's Mustaqin. Nearly. Ernesto Addo nearly getting on the end of it. Through ball on the turn from Mustaqin. Sadurian. Not the best of passes from Yazir. Goes out. Sabanan Sivanesan, the head coach for Solid.
Pelicans SC, of course, with a unique approach to this Champions League. They had open trials for a lot of the talent in the Kurnagal area to come and show their skills and show their efforts, and which is rather consistent with what Coach Aruna Sampath tends to do. He's happy to shake things up, and I think based on the initial exchanges at least, what is visible is that this break has done them a little bit of a favor. Maybe they've dominated the early exchanges, and especially in the middle of the park, and although we've seen 6 minutes of action only, the initial signs at least are rather encouraging.
Yes, I believe he was not at all happy with how they played against Moragas Mulla in their first game. They were leading 1-0, but the second half they let Moragas Mulla come back into the game and get a draw out of it.
Mensa Prince with a hopeful ball coming in, but nothing doing, and Rangana Jayasekara, he has no difficulty in holding on to that. It's rather interesting now, I think, over the course of the last few Champions League games that we've seen. What has been apparent is that we've had very few games that were low scoring. Either we've had very tight results, separated, either draws or separated by one goal, or we've had absolute goal fests. So it's going to be interesting to see how things transpire here.
Yes, indeed, and that break has widened the gap between some of the teams. I was surprised that the defending champions Mathura City went down 5-0 against Police. Police, of course, had a very good game, very good first game in that week 1 against Super Sun. They completely dominated, and they, from all the 14 teams, I think they look the more comfortable and composed side out of the 14.
Well, I commentated that game as well now. Then what unfortunately for Mathura City FC, I think what really gave them trouble was the fact that their goalkeeper Rasika Sampath, he had a bit of a horror show of a game. I think two of the efforts that he tried to save or he tried to parry ended up falling at the 6-yard line, which handed bunch of very simple tap-ins. I don't think you'll score easier goals than that. And on both those occasions, I think the technique was wanting as well. So, like you said, I don't know if the scoreline necessarily says the whole story, but having a goalkeeper having a bad day of the office, it never really helps.
Absolutely. And having a solid goalkeeper is something you need. As shot from range by Adeolu, parried away by Jayasekara, out for corner. Having a solid goalkeeper is one of the vital cogs in your wheel. They take it short, solid on the edge of the box, trying to curl that ball. Goes away. Adeolu, hounded by a couple of defenders, dispossessed. Through ball.
I think Adu on that occasion, he was more concerned about whether he might be offside than following the ball, and the flag didn't come up, so we can't really say from here, but maybe it's a chance he should have taken in retrospect, and a shot from distance there. But that was not really going anywhere, was it, by Kojo Onoke? It was always rising.
Devdas Nilujan for solid. Who had a good game. Good first game against St. Mary's. Kept a clean sheet. Here's Mustaqin.
And now Adu with something to run on to. And off your screens here, Coach Aruna Sampath signalling to the bench as well. I don't know if he's looking at freshening things up so early in the game, but now so far I don't see too much of a problem. Yes, he has got a few players out warming up already, and here's an opportunity now for Solid SC. The shot comes in and it's a goal. The referee says it stands. And what a goal that was. The goalkeeper definitely should be doing better there, but Rangana Jayasekara, a ball squeezes in from under him.
Goal for Solid.
Jnana Ruben, the skipper, on that left flank, he won't be complaining.
Jnana Ruben.
But just like that, and you can see, again, we can see off your screens that Coach Aruna Sampath pointing out to Rangana Jayasekara that he should be catching that. It shouldn't be sneaking in under his body like that. And that's a very basic error on the part of the goalkeeper.
Absolutely. But on the other hand, you should commend the technique of Jnana Ruben. Not easy to keep that ball down on the volley. Very good technique from the former Sri Lanka national player.
Nice little midfield battle here again, and Pelicans on their bike, and here we have Daniel Musatkin. Can he... Oh, and the keeper with a questionable touch. Mustakin lays it out. Here's the shot, and that's another one. 1-1 immediately. And on this occasion, no mistake from Kumar Kevinash. Mustakin spots it, very composed. And Kevinash making no mistake either, but cardinal error after cardinal error from both the goalkeepers. And rather ironic, isn't it? Now we were just talking about how a solid goalkeeper is an essential foundation for a team, and very quickly we've seen both the goalkeepers with howlers.
Indeed, Deshan. Pelicans equalizing less than a minute after going down. Here's Musatkin fouled on the edge of the box.
A little bit of a question there, Navod, whether the contact was inside the box. That's what it looked like. Solid SC very, very lucky, because our replay showed that the contact that the referee did decide was an infringement happened very clearly inside the bounds of the 18 yards box. There we go, just another look. It's the trailing left foot that gets caught.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately for Musatkin and Pelicans, we don't have the luxury of VAR. Most of the time it's the other way around, isn't it, Deja? The foul happens just outside the box and the player rolls into the box. But here's Pelicans with an opportunity. Poorly taken. Free kick straight at the wall, but the rebound effort taking Milujan once again by surprise.
Absolutely, and again, Navod, the technique of the keeper needs to be called into question, because as the rebound was coming in, he was not prepared. He was flat-footed, and that is why he had to parry that effort wide and make it a lot more complicated. It was a very simple take, because there was not a lot of power behind it. It was coming straight at him. So another disaster off they are doing, but here's the corner. They managed to come out unscathed by the looks of it, and here's an opportunity now for Solid to break. Just a bit too much on that. Well defended by the Kurunagala lads. So questionable goalkeeping has been the theme of the weekend by the looks of it. But in the same sense, I think on a national level it is encouraging that the top tier goalkeepers playing football from Sri Lanka are being recognized by foreign clubs and been recruited. So it's not all bad news.
Adeolu. Finds the man on the wing. Steven. Nan Ruben on the left. Cuts back in. Too much power behind it. Tanusian fouled. No, says the referee. Mensa Prince. It's the ball up front for Chibueze. Not the best of balls into the box. Ball towards Kajanathan.
And now, as we close in on the 20-minute mark, you can see that both teams are making more of a conceited effort to kind of settle down and control possession for a little bit at least. And what we saw in the initial 15-20 minutes was end-to-end stuff. But especially in this weather, that does take a lot out of you as the ball is hoiked in. Here's an opportunity now for Solid SC and maybe a shot. Always rising on that occasion, and a smile on Coach Shivanation's face there as well. But he should at least be hitting the target or testing the goalkeeper, one of the two.
Definitely Deshan, I think he did all the hard work. Should have kept the ball down.
I think just leaned back a little bit too much while he hit it, causing the ball to rise as a result.
Rangal Jayasekara.
Very nearly there, but Daniela Rubison nicking it off. And once again, an opportunity for attack. This time it's Jana Ruben again, the goal scorer. A shot potentially, no, miscontrolled by Adeolu. And Pelicans now with Mustakin. Mustakin has been fantastic so far. Here's an opportunity, he squares it. And the second effort not quite coming off. Called in for a corner, smile on Coach Arna Sampat's face, and every time he has picked up the ball or been around the goal, he has been effective, Mustakin. Goal kick awarded, so no touch on its way out.
Free kick for Solid.
Just some instructions going out from Adeolu to the aberrant Danusian. Adeolu has been marshalling that midfield very well. It's not an easy task as well, but Henry Chibueze and Mensa Prince having a bit of a discussion. It has been decided now that Mensa Prince will be taking it. Whipped in from with his left foot, and here's the ball coming in. Just a bit too much on it for Chibueze. ball coming in here from Pelicans. And a spill very nearly, and yes, and that's another one. What an error. But no, the referee, he's brought it back. And if this is not awarded, Devadas Nilujan is the luckiest man on the planet because he spills it uncontested. I don't see much in that one at all, Navod.
Goalkeeper was not in control.
He's a very lucky man.
Very lucky. Kevin Ash did have all the rights to contest for that ball.
And so that's the second bit of misfortune that has befallen Pelicans SC as they try to find the second goal. Coach Arna Sampath will certainly have plenty to say about that. Here's an opportunity now down the right flank, but nothing doing, so a throw in for the Kurunegala lads. Looks like Daniel Mustakin, he has been given a free role of sorts to kind of play across the front. Now finding himself on the right. And it has worked so far. And a hopeful effort there. I can only imagine what was going through Nilujan's head at that moment where he spilled that ball and it ended up at the back of the net. I know he clutched his arm and fell, but surely even he must have felt that he was very lucky that that goal was overturned. Well played there, nice little movement and foul potentially, or at least a bit of a clash there. I think that's Kevin Ash again that has hit the deck. Yes, it is. I think falling from that height awkwardly as well, never easy. Old school ice pack makes its way onto the pitch. Here's another look at that one. Just falls awkwardly. I think Murugaya Vidushan had every right to contest for that ball as well.
This break will allow Solid to regroup. Since scoring that goal, they've been second best to Pelicans. Adeolu looking for options. And the ball trying to find Chibuezi just over him.
Beautiful little hoik pass there for Kevin Ash, but out of bounds. But you could see the idea. Musatkin playing on the last man nearly. Pressing very well.
Again another ball trying to find Chibuezi. Partially headed away. Solid will have the throw in.
The game has slowed down quite a bit after that initial burst of energy, and as expected, it's not very easy in these conditions to sustain an extremely high level of intensity, and things may have been a little different if that second goal had stood, but it is what it is at the moment. So Mustakin now playing almost as an out-and-out centre forward, with Ado dropping back and playing as a second striker of sorts, and he's sitting very much on the last man. He's not really involved too much in the defensive press either, so just goes on to reiterate that Coach Arna Sampath very much wants to catch them on the break, and they have the feet and they have the legs rather to chase those balls as well.
That forcing Solid not to commit a lot of men forward. Tanusian. Kevin Ash getting a final warning from Lakmal Virakodi for kicking that ball away. Chibuezi keeps the ball in. No, says the referee. Pelicans gets the throw in. Kevin Ash. Bit of retaliation from Tanusian for that earlier foul. Ernest Adu out of action as he gets a change of boots. Pelicans. Musatkin hounded by a couple.
And here's an opportunity now for Kevin Ash. Referee judges it as being offside. A hopeful ball coming in, but booted forward once again. Solid SC. Immediately outnumbered by the Pelicans lads, so and now Mustakin with an opportunity to break, and he gets right side of the defender and rightfully puts his hands up, but the referee says nothing doing. He's not had the most luck today with decisions so far. As Solid SC now decide to continue with this attack and play advantage. Ball comes in. Chibueze very nearly found, but ball now going back to the Solid defense. To the Pelicans defense rather. Solid SC moving the ball very quickly from back to front. Chibueze now on this left flank. Mensa Prince lets loose his teammate there. Ball comes in. Not enough on it, but Dayabaran Danusian with the right ideas.
Once again, not keeping that ball low. Did all the good work, just like Chibueze did some minutes back. Pelicans. Rubishan gets the ball for Solid. Adeolu. Deflection. Still Solid as the ball. Off rebound, Tanusian. Chibueze on the left. Cuts back in on the edge of the box. Adeolu. Pelicans gets the ball. Kojonoki. It's the ball up front. Musatkin. Tries to turn. Partially cleared away. Pelican still has possession.
Bit of a soft call there from Ado asking for that penalty, but a clear-cut foul there on Chibueze as Selvanayagam Sadurian catches him on the break, stopping an almost certain attack. Beautiful touch there by Chibueze. He saw the foul coming and just gets nicked. Not a lot in it, but at that speed. And by the looks of things, down here by the touchline, early substitution on the cards in the first half itself. Coach Aruna Sampath feels the need to change something now.
Looks like it. He's readying Sanjay Thirimanna. One of the two Thirimanna brothers, Yasaswin, already playing on the field. Pelicans comes forward on the left. Ball This time collected well by an illusion. Chibuezi having to come way back. Tanosian.
And yes, that substitution is going to be happening, and Coach Anna Sampath with some final words as we approach the 40-minute mark.
Looks like it's going to be Mohammad Yazir who will be taken off.
Not every day you see first half substitutions, Navod, and wonder if Yazir is carrying a bit of a nick.
Down at the far end.
It's the game being resumed here.
Jan Ruben. Deflection out for a corner. Now Pelicans will make that substitution. Mohammad Yazir comes off, and in his place comes Sanjay Thirimanna.
So as you said, both Thirimana brothers now on the pitch.
Opportunity for Solid to take the lead once again just before half time. Yeah, the 6-yard box. Shot on the volley. Header.
Header coming in and very nearly. Bit of ping pong happening there, and it comes off the post. And an in-swinging corner, very nearly. Chibueze does everything right, and that header directed towards the goal.
Everything happening.
Was very well cleared. And had that not been the case, it would have ended in the back of the net. Daber and Danusian. And Daniel Mustakin dropping down into this middle of the park to try and create something. He's not had a lot of joy in the last 10 minutes or so. And then Chibueze very clearly fouled by Kumar Kevinash. This big man Chibueze is a very imposing figure, so it's not easy to just muscle him off the ball.
There's going to be just 1 minute of additional time to end this first half.
Beautifully done there by Mustakin. And showing his quality really. And now maybe one final chance for Pelicans. Solid says no. You could see the idea there by Kevinash, but the execution wanting. Lofted in from distance. And here's an opportunity. No, it's just beyond Mustakin. Kevinash once again with the shot. Does everything right, but couldn't keep it down. But he gets his foot wrapped around it from the outside. Daniel Mustakin playing that number 9 role very well, and he's dragging the defenders in with him because he's able to create something when he does get the space. And as a result, both Ado and Kevinash are having plenty of joy. And that's the half in this Champions League encounter between Pelicans SC and Solid SC. It started off end to end, high energy, and both teams scoring off questionable goalkeeping. A bit of controversy. Firstly, a penalty shout for Daniel Mustakin that ended up being a free kick despite the foul being inside the box. And later on, a goal by Kevinash resulted in a free kick being awarded, much to the relief rather of Devadas Nilujan. We'll shortly be joined with the highlights for the first half, but now it's Pelicans 1, Solid 1. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Racecourse International Stadium here at the heart of Colombo. You're joining the live coverage of the Sri Lanka Champions League organized by the Football Federation of Sri Lanka. And joining me today again, as previously in the first half, is now Vijay Vikrama. But while we wait for him, Pelicans SC and Solid SC have been battling it out in the first half with a 1-1 scoreline. The game was not without its controversies, and as we kick things off, there's also a substitution on the cards for Solid SC. Coming on is Robinson Reynolds for Murugaya Vidusan, and also Alexson coming in for Dayabaran Danusian. So 2 changes for Solid SC in the second half, while Pelicans SC had already made their first change within the first half itself. Pelicans SC will go into this game, the second half of this game rather, feeling hard done by, following that first half interval where they were denied what should have been a penalty. And in addition, also a surefire goal following a spillage on the part of the Solid SC goalkeeper. Now, Musatkin starts things off the way he left it. He's been absolutely fantastic this whole game. Now both Pelicans will feel that they have something to earn back, given how things played out in the first half and how some decisions went against them.
Two halftime substitutions for Solid. Can they make some difference in the second 45 minutes? The last 15 to 20 minutes of that first half just meandered along. Nilujan be hoping for a far better second 45 after that horror show in that first half. Halik Ahmed throwing down the line, headed out by Trimanna. Prince Jayasekara collects it comfortably.
Solid SC ringing in the changes the second half, as you mentioned, Navod. I think they were the second best team for most of the first half. Pelicans SC really putting their foot down, and as I was saying earlier, this could be a very different second half and a substantially different halftime. Team Talk had some of those refereeing decisions which blatantly almost looked like it should have gone the other way, did go the other way. So I think, to the credit of coach Sivanesan, he's taken account of that and he's noticed that, and he's rung in some changes to try and shore up the middle of the park and that easiest access route to the goal as well. So indeed, it's an interesting predicament to be in now for Pelicans, who did make that early substitution and showed their hand. I suppose we will have to wait and watch how this kind of pans out, especially as the latter half of that first half did not really show too much high quality football.
Definitely hoping for a better 45, especially from Solid. Throw in for Solid. They need to show some energy in this first 10-15 minutes of play. To show that hunger, that you're here for the win, not just to play out. Beautiful conditions to play football. Here's Tirumana. Illusion just punches it away. Harbison takes it forward. Here's Nyan Ruben. Adeolu. Prince. To Nyan Ruben, gives it back to Harbison. Ball into the box. Partially cleared away. Solid will get that throw in.
Now, initial 5-6 minutes or so, Solid SC clearly changed the game a little bit in terms of having some control over the middle of the park. That has helped them tick things over just a little bit. And here you have an opportunity now to try and break into the box. Yes, they do, but Pelicans with a less than ideal clearance, a hopeful shot coming in, collected very simply by Rangana Jayasekara, the skipper. And now on the break, Pelicans SC with Tirimana's pass trying to find itself to Musatkin, but and now Solid on the break. Here's an opportunity to try and find something, but good defensive shape there by Pelicans SC, almost forcing Solid SC to run into traffic. And Pelicans SC Navod with quite the scalp pulling Daniel Musatkin to represent them here in the Champions League, isn't it? having played his football for Chiang Mai FC, is a Russian lad.
Might as well be the first Russian to play in Sri Lankan domestic football.
Definitely the first to play in the second division. And now as things progress, it's very apparent that while Solid has showed up that midfield and has a bit more joy, Musatkin there, the pitch just giving way and him taking a tumble as a result. But Pelicans SC seem to have doubled down on really the shape of the defense and closed that part down the middle of the park, especially where a lot of the midfield ball possession is held, and a hopeful ball going nowhere. Coach Arna Sampath not very happy and letting his unhappiness be known as well.
Talking about Musatkin, I think Pelicans over the years have been a team that has not gone the conventional way. They've back in I think 2013 they brought in a couple of Moroccan players, and even the last Champions League back in 2021 they had one Serbian player as well. So they haven't gone the conventional way of bringing in players from Africa. As a header from Yasaswin Thirimanne straight at Devdas Nilujan. Good ball in. Wasn't able to test Nilujan on that occasion.
Seems to be a bit of a knock picked up by Thirimanne, I believe it is there, down the middle of the park, but seems to be okay. But walking gingerly as the ball comes in for Solid SC. Hands in the air from Henry Chibueze, who is pointing out that that injury, if any, is as a result of a challenge put on him. So here it's a shot, but ball always rising, not really threatening the keeper, Rangana Jayasekara. Now Pelicans SC again. This has been a hallmark of a lot of the games now that we've seen throughout the Champions League, and I think fortunately, unfortunately, has become a hallmark of football in Sri Lanka altogether, which is that very few teams, I think Colombo FC probably being a very rare case, Saunders to a great degree as well, who play very technical midfield-centric football. Very few teams hold on to the ball and play what in football terms you call a professional performance, where you change the sides of the ball, where you change the sides of the pitch, you play black to front, you hold on to the ball and you try to carve out an opportunity. A lot of it is very end-to-end stuff. And while there can be success derived from it, of course, especially at the very highest level, while there can be success in terms of goal scoring at the very highest level, it's almost impossible to manage a game at that intensity. And it has unfortunately shown in the national teams. I think that has changed to some degree, since we've had some of these expat players come in and them playing a style of football more suited to what is played overseas. But it is something I think on a technical level the FFSL's technical teams also need to look at. What are your thoughts?
Totally agree with you, Deshan. I think maybe lack of football that they've had over the years have resulted in coaches implementing that straightforward form of attack, putting that ball over the defense. As we see another substitution for Pelicans. Navneetha Niranjan coming off, replacing Yasaswin Thirimanne. But then again, it's up to the clubs, the management and the coaches to come up with best plan of play which suits them. But I think as we go through these few weeks, some of the teams I think will get into the groove. And sometimes most of the clubs over-reliance on the foreign players does have an impact on the style they play. So most of them like to put that ball up front over the defense for the foreign players to run onto. Once we see some consistent football being played throughout the year in Champions League and in the Super League, we will see an improvement in the quality of the players, the clubs, and the style of play that they have. Also needs to be noted that even the coaches need to educate themselves. That's a vital part of how a club plays their football. Just over an hour gone in this game. Still Pelicans 1, solid 1. We haven't seen that much action in this second half. Good collection from Niranjan, substitute who came a few minutes back, replacing Yasaswin Thirimanne.
That substitution potentially also because of that knock that Thirimanne received over a few minutes ago before that substitution, so a few more legs potentially. Throw in now for Pelicans SC to be taken by Kumar Kevinash. He's been a bit of a live wire this game. He's going to whip this one in. Throw in coming in. Here's an opportunity. Header just missed it. Ball comes back into play. Potentially an opportunity for a door. But no, he's given it away. Now an opportunity to break. Chibueze now with the ball and support players around him as well. Just a bit too much on that for Chibueze. And a bit of a hopeful pass as well. Chibueze makes the run looking for the ball, doesn't quite get it back. A foul has been awarded. Not happy at all there. Daniel Rubison coming into the midfield and fighting for that ball, but was there to be fought for. So maybe a Rubison does have a claim to stake, but you play to the whistle. And in particular for Solid SC, as always, that trio of Henry Chibueze, Adeolu and Mensa Prince, they've been immense today as well. They've been running the game more or less. Rubison now coming down this flank, and he's dragged back. The referee, rightfully, I beg your pardon. That was Alexan with that driving run, but regardless, the foul has been awarded. It's a clear-cut infringement.
Vigneshwara Raj Kajandan, the man who got that yellow card.
But yeah, as I was saying, that expat trio for Solid SC, they do pull bulk of the weight, and they have been very effective on this occasion. It seems like Mensa Prince has come forward and said he's going to be taking this one.
It will be Adeolu. Straight at goal. Diving collection from Jayasekara.
Rangana Jayasekara has grown into the game as the game has progressed after that initial howler. Once again, Solid SC on their bike. Just a confirmation for you of Vigneshwara Raja's yellow card. And again, ball stuck in the middle. Pelicans SC very nearly giving it back. But here's now a chance. Ado and Mustakin both down in the middle.
Chibuezi unable to keep that ball in. Pelicans take the throw in quickly. Kajanathan. Kennedy John Raj to Mensa Prince. Rubison. Adeolu. Prince to John Raj. Chibuezi cuts back in. Prince loses the ball.
Musatkin hasn't had much of an impact in the second half, has he now? I don't think he's got in the right spaces on that defensive line, but I don't think he's got support via the right passes and the right support play. So he's been rather isolated, but credit to Solid SC for creating that environment after what was a very good first half performance by him. It's essentially been taken out of the game completely as Mensa Steven tries to drive forward.
What has been lacking for Pelicans is nothing is coming from the midfield. Just those hopeful long balls, as Steven Mensah almost getting on the end of it. I beg your pardon, Ernest Ado.
Beautiful take there by Ado. He manages to bring the ball down and careless pass back. But beautifully taken on the chest on the turn. Fantastic technique for anyone watching, and for those at home, it's absolutely important when that ball comes in, wherever, whether it's your chest, whether it's your foot, your first touch plays into your next move. And that is exactly a great example of using your chest and playing into your next position by Ado, although the pass didn't quite come up tops.
Ball towards Chibuezi. Headed out by Mensah Stephen. Chibuezi looking to restart things quickly. Others not in the same wavelength as he was. Again, careless from Solid. Sanjay Thirimanne to Niranjan. Niranjan gets the ball back. Here's Ado. Appeals for a penalty. None given by Lakmal Virakodi. Well. Have to see that replay. Here's Ado. Did very well. My word. Daniel Arubison all over the back of Ado.
Arubison, not one but 2 or 3 fouls. He grabs Ado's pants first and then pulls him from behind and then trips on top of him. So 2 penalty shouts now lost for Pelicans SC as the ball comes in here. Once again, Ado manages to bring it forward. Here's an opportunity for a header. Spilled, but Nidujan collects it on the second effort. Now Solid SC with an opportunity break.
This stays 1-1 and Pelicans go on, or either Pelicans go on to lose this game, they would feel hard done by the referee. A disallowed goal, which they'd feel that it was completely against play. And this penalty shout as well.
2 penalty shouts.
2 penalty shouts,
Yeah.
yes.
And in my opinion, very clear-cut penalties as well now, I think. Especially the last one by Rubison. Rubison was essentially clung on to his marker.
Now neither Niranjan, the man down, needing some attention from the physio. As the floodlights come on here at the Racecourse International Stadium.
Beautiful evening here as the sky turns a beautiful pink hue as well.
We have the next game starting at 8 p.m. It's Saunders against Negombo Youth.
Battle of the old guard of Sri Lankan football, isn't it, Navod? Both teams really need to pick up the intensity if they want to get something out of this game. They've got just over 16 minutes left of regulation time. Here once again. Solid SC pressing up very high and very nearly a miscommunication. Rangana Jayasekara taking no chances, but Pelicans SC need to stop providing opportunities for Solid. Beautiful ball coming in and fantastic opportunity, but absolutely skies that effort.
Kennedy John Raj, the guilty man for Solid.
He had plenty of time now, I think, to take a touch and bring it down as well, but went for the spectacular. Another corner for Pelicans SC now. And another opportunity to swing this one in and create some problems inside the Solid SC box, as we can see. Selvam Sudarshan being readied down by the touchline, and potential change in the middle of the park. Ball comes in. Hands up, and not quite clear what they called for there now. I don't see much of an infringement.
Looks like a forced substitution for Pelicans. Navneet Niranjan, who came on as a substitute, is out injured for now. Here's Ado with an opportunity, goes past Nilujan, and they score a deserved second goal. Ernest Ado for Pelicans. 2-1 for Pelicans.
And they'll feel they deserve that one after having quite a few goals taken off their sheet. And Ernest Ado, he's been an absolute thorn in the side of Solid SC together with Musatkin up front. And he will feel that was well warranted. Fantastic ability shown there as well technically to get past the keeper, and the composure. Brings it down, little shimmy at the waist. Sends Nilujan going on all fours and rounds him beautifully. And hopefully now Solid SC have a reason to up the ante a little bit.
And while that celebration was happening, Pelicans did make that substitution. Now Navneet Niranjan coming off, and in his place comes Selvam Sudarshan, jersey number 11. Coming close to the final 10 minutes of play.
It's not the look at that foul. It's never easy. Mensa Prince is a big guy and an imposing figure, so caught the brunt of that there, Sadurian.
Musatkin. Sudarshan loses position.
Mensa suddenly burst into life and showing a bit more energy. Daniil Musatkin, the Russian. Caught offside there. Ado and Musatkin pressing high now, and the energies come back to this team. And a corner as a result. Chibueze all the way back there. Conceding it as well, but another look at that offside. We roll into the 81st minute now of this game, so the clock is ticking, and Pelicans with this lead now have to make that all-important decision. Do we stick to it and do we manage this game now, or do we pursue a second one? And so far it looks like they want that third goal, but they're not going to get it like that. One, two on the edge of the box. Here's an opportunity for a pass and a shot potentially. He cuts inside and the shot comes in and it's a goal from point blank range. Pelicans SC have settled it. Devadas Nilujan gets a hand to it but not strong enough. Kevin Ash, well-deserved goal for that lad.
Goal for Pelicans. Jersey number 11.
I beg your pardon, that was Selvam Sudarshan, the substitute there, who managed to find the net. So that should be the 3 points for Pelicans SC. And Solid SC now, which is 1 point out of 2 games.
A very lucky forced substitution for Pelicans, you could say.
Absolutely, but they won't be complaining.
Selvam Sudarshan did make it a bit too difficult for him. He should have gone for that first time effort. But nonetheless, they get that goal. As Solid now makes a substitution. Sri Mulidaran Jabesh going to replace Kennedy John Raj. Kennedy John Raj is the man who's down. Two goals in quick succession, giving Pelicans a lot of breathing space. And as you said, Deshaun, all 3 points from this game.
This needs a bit of help to get off the pitch, and I think his teammate wants him off the pitch as much as everybody else, so nice little touch. Gets a lift there from Mensa Prince now.
Sri Muralidharan Jabish onto the field to replace Kennedy John Raj. Good ball in. Nearly a second for Solid. Alexan, the man on the end of it. Good ball by Halik Ahmed. Rangana Jayasekara did well to put his body on the line. Another engine break. Here's that goal. Kevinash putting that ball to Sudarshan. Cutting back in through a maze of players. Deflection. But they got that goal.
And again, now I think everything was right. One does have to wonder, was the goal it was straight at the keeper basically? Were the hands strong enough that that the goal still ricocheted and went into the back of the net? I mean, point blank range, shot straight at you. You should be paring the ball away at this level at least.
A lot of question marks about the goalkeeping of Devdas Nilujan. A big headache for Solid's head coach, Sabanath Sevanesan.
And now Pelicans SC opting to take those fouls, opting to take those free kicks, slow the game down a little bit. They could have gone on that break, but no, they've decided to take the break so that they can slow this game down a little bit. And every time you break down that momentum and every time you pause the game a little bit, makes it that much more difficult for Solid SC to find the rhythm to piece together a goal. But more importantly, ticking down gold-like seconds of that clock and just increasing the pressure on the Solid SC team as a result. .87.5 minutes completed in this game. Pelicans SC would not mind having the ball at this end of the pitch, and a goal kick, however, now for Solid SC. Now Mensah twisting and turning.
Sanjay Thirman to Sudarshan Musatkin. Been a bit anonymous, Musatkin, but he won't mind. His team has all but taken these 3 points.
High press there, but breaking that press, Solid SC, they've got a 2-goal cushion to recover here. Cross comes in here. Too much on it. Pelicans SC happy to let it roll. Tries to be a bit too cheeky. Loses it to Chibueze. Chibueze now. Solid SC working it inside. And manages to earn a corner there, Adilanka Prabha. I beg your pardon, that was Jabesh, the substitute. But a corner nonetheless, and an opportunity now to put one into the box. Cross coming in. Opportunity taken off the feet of him by Mensa Prince, who put that ball into the box, but Daniel Rubison
There will be 4 minutes of added time.
just signaled by the referee 4 minutes of added time at the end of this game now, and Solid SC, is that enough time to turn this around? I don't know, but they seem to want to press, and Mensa Prince looking for that shot, and Jabesh takes a shot and it goes out. A corner kick on the cards. The cross comes in. Here's an opportunity. Beats everyone. And here's an opportunity on the break now. Ernest Sado, he's got 2 or 3 players for company, but can he do it all himself? He's outnumbered. Still got the ball. Finds Daniel Mustakin, and he takes a shot. Slices that one. It flies over the goal, but couldn't quite get the right purchase on that. The ball kept in there by Jabesh. Jabesh has brought newfound life into this attack. He tries his best, but professional defending there on the part of his counterpart. And I think now that's what Solid has lacked this game. Some legs that can really increase the intensity at which they perform. And it's shown, particularly with the likes of Jabesh coming in, that the attack can be a lot more dynamic. I know I mentioned that the 3 expat players, they run the show, but neither of them are really very quick players. They're strong, they have a presence, they're good with the ball, but Solid SC really need that bit of pace injected into the team.
Exactly. They didn't have the players to play alongside and play around those three or four foreign players they have. Whereas Pelicans, almost that 4th goal for Pelicans. Brilliant work done by Musatkin on that left. Even though they do have the foreign players, 4 of them Pelicans, all 3 of their goals have come from the local players. 2 from Kevin Ash and 1 from Selvam Sudarshan. Here's that early opportunity. Musatkin, good ball in.
On the money there now, but even then, although Ado doesn't really have the fastest legs on the planet, he may have the best to score the 4th one, and that's exactly what he's done. And what a beauty of a goal, what great presence of mind to just hoik it over. And that's 4-1 to Pelicans SC. Just talking about the importance of pace and how it can change the game. And
Goal for
Ball moved
Pelicans.
very
Just
fast.
after 38.
Ado had enough of that
Sado.
to get in front of the solid SC man, and unfortunately for Robinson Reynolds, he didn't have the legs to keep up. That's a beautiful goal there by Ernest Ado, and that wraps up the added time here as well. The referee, one final look at his watch. That's it, solid SC. Still with 1 point in this tournament. There's definitely cause for concern for the lads from Anuradhapura.
Pelicans score is Pelicans 4.
But as this game
41.
concludes and Lakmal Virakodi blows the whistle, it's been all about Pelicans SC, and they will feel that they could have scored more in this game. A little bit of controversy, particularly in the first half, about some refereeing decisions and the way in which they went.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Lanka football is proud to give the player of the match award to the player who has delivered an outstanding performance, demonstrating exceptional skill, determination and leadership on the field tonight. And the player of the match goes to judge number 38, Ernest Ado from Pelicans.
Just announced that Ernest Ado has been awarded the Man of the Match award as well, and rightfully so, as Pelicans dominate this game, beating solid SC 4-1. Don't forget, we've got yet another encounter coming up as well, but before we do, let's have a look at the highlights for this evening. And that's the confirmation of your scores. Pelicans SC4, Solid SC1 in this live game that we just broadcasted to you. But don't forget, we've got another one coming at 8 p.m. and that will be Negombo Youth FC versus Saunders SC, a battle of the old guard here in Sri Lankan football, plying their trade now in the second division. So stay tuned for that encounter as well. And we have Navod Vijay Vikrama with an interview on the ground at the moment. So Navod, over to you.
I have here with me the player of the match for today's game, Ernest Addo. Ernest, congratulations, 2 goals, most importantly 3 points for y'all after that first game draw. What are your thoughts on today's game?
Thank you very much. Today's game was a very tough one, and I'm happy with the help of my coach, the staff and the playing body. Yeah, the reason why we are able to win this game.
Y'all did have a not the best of first halves. It was 1-1. Y'all conceded an early goal. What was the team talk in that halftime?
Well, we put our minds together and we decided that in the second half we are going to press more and win the ball. Then without the ball we are going to stay compact. Then we see how it goes. And at the end of the day we were able to deliver.
Okay, thank you and all the best for the next games.
You too. Thank you.
And that's Ernest Addo, the man of the match from today's game, with our very own Navod Vijay Vikrama. As I mentioned, this is not the end of the coverage. We have another game coming to you at 8 p.m. today as well. But before we move on to that, let's now have the coach Aruna Sampath share his views on today's game.
අපි සමග දැන් එකතු වෙනවා Pelicans කණ්ඩායමේ පුහුණුකරු අරුණ සම්පත් අද තරගය ගැන මොකද හිතන්නේ? පළවෙනි තරගයේදී draw වුණා. මේ තරගයේත් 1-1 තමයි මුලින්ම එක ගෝලයක් ඩවුන් උත් යනවා. ඊට පස්සේ half time එකේ 1-1. මොකද half time එකේ කතාව තිබුණේ ටීම් එකත් එක්ක changes වගේක් අලුතෙන් උත් players මොසට්කින් රෂන් ප්ලේ කෙනෙකුත් ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නා. මොන වගේ දෙයක්ද half time එකේ සිදුුනේ?
ඇත්තෙන්ම අපේ පළවෙනි මැච් එක draw වුණා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ draw වුණ එකත් හොඳයි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. මට මේ මැච් එකේ මට උවමනා කරන විදිහට ප්ලේයර්ලා ටික හදාගන්න පුළුවන්කම තිබුණා. මේ ෆස්ට් මැච් එක draw වුණා අයින්. ඒ හින්දා මගේ ඇසිස්ටන්ට් පුහුණුකරු එයත් එක්ක මම නැෂනල් ප්ලේයර් එයත් එක්කත් මම කතා කරලා ටීම් එක හොඳ තත්ත්වයකට ගෙනාවා. මේ මැච් එක මම අනිවාර්යෙන් දිනනවා කියලා මම දන්නවා. මම දිනන පරමාර්ථයෙන් තමයි මෙතනට ආවේ.
අලුතෙන් රෂන් ප්ලේ කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නා මුසට්කින් ෆස්ට් වීක් එකේ හිටියේ නැහැ. අර බ්‍රේක් එකත් එක්ක ඕගොල්ලන් අලුතෙන් ප්ලේ කෙනෙක් ඇඩ් කරලා තිබ්බා. කොහොමද ඒ ඇතුළත් වීම ගැන පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරොත් එහෙම?
ඇත්තටම ඒ ප්ලේයර්ගෙන් ලොකු ප්‍රයෝජනයක් වෙනවා අපේ ටීම් එකට. ඒ ප්ලේයර් හොඳ බෝල් ප්ලේ කෙනෙක්, හොඳට සෙල්ලම් කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒ ප්ලේයර් සෙල්ලම් කරන ස්ටයිල් එකට අපේ අනිත් ප්ලේයර්ලාත් සෙල්ලම් කරන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒ හින්දා මගේ ටීම් එකට ලොකු වාසියක් ඒ ප්ලේයර් සෙල්ලම් කරන එක.
මොන වගේ දෙයක්ද මෙම තරගයෙන් ගත හැකි positives negatives ගැන කතා කරොත් එහෙම ඊළඟ තරඟවලට?
ඇත්තෙන්ම මට මේක හොඳ තරගයක්. ඒ කියන්නේ මගේ ප්ලේයර්ලා කොච්චර ෆිට්ද, කොයි විදියට සෙල්ලම් කරන්නේ, කොයි මොහොතේද මොනවාද කරන්නේ කියන එක මම මේ තරගයෙන් බලාගත්තා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉක්වල් තරගයක් ගියේ. ඒකෙන් මගේ ප්ලේයර්ලා කොයි තත්ත්වෙන්ද ෆිට්නස් මට්ටමින් ඉන්නේ කියන එක මම මේකෙන් ඔලුවට දාගත්තා.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි. ඉදිරි තරඟවල සුබවතනවා.
Thank you.
And that's Coach Aruna Sampath sharing his thoughts. So as I mentioned, we have one more interview set to come in as well, and that is with the head coach of the losing side for today. Navod, over to you.
I have here with me the head coach of Solid SC, Sabanath Sivanesan. Sivanesan, y'all drew 0-0 against St. Mary's in that first game. This time you all lost against Pelicans. What do you think went wrong for Solid this match?
Next match is playing is good, but this match is sometimes some mistake. But some player injuries. But difficult condition, but defense mistake also. But next match is playing is good.
What do you want to do in the next match, in the third game and in week 4 as well? What do you need to improve as a team?
So next match I will improve our team, but defense but mistakes. Next match some little mistake. Next match some correct matches. Good next match play.
Okay, and thank you and all the best for the next few games.
Okay, thank you.
And that concludes our series of interviews from pitch side. Thank you for everyone who joined us for this coverage. Don't forget, we've got another kickoff coming at 8 p.m. So stay tuned. And if you're in the area, come by the Racecourse International Stadium for some top-level football right here from home in Sri Lanka.